Good morning, 8th graders. I'm Mrs. Edwards, the new 8th grade counselor here at Holly Ridge Middle School. I'm here this morning to talk about some very important information to get you guys ready for high school registration and classes and all that fun stuff. You guys are the class of 2026. That's when you'll graduate. So exciting times. So let's get started. Let's talk about the high school graduation requirements. When you start high school, each class is a credit, and there are a certain amount of credits that you have to graduate. As you can see at the bottom, the total is 26 credits. If you think about this, though, you guys are on a block schedule when you get to high school. That means 4 classes per semester. So if we total that, that's 8. Times that by 4 years of high school, that's 32 credits. So you actually are going to get more credits than just 26 as long as you pass everything that you take. Let's go over this. So you have English, you have to get 4 credits of English, English 1, 2, 3, and 4. So you'll be taking English every year of high school. Your math, you have to have completed Math 1, Math 2, Math 3, and then one more math course beyond Math 3. So you're going to have 4 credits of math throughout high school. So you'll be taking that every year. For science, you have to have 3 credits, Earth, Environmental, Biology, and a Physical Science. So as you can see, you don't necessarily have to take science your senior year. I would encourage it though, just because if you're thinking you want to go to college, they like to see rigorousness, and they will want you to be completing another science in your senior year. But there is a minimum credit of 3. Social studies, you need to have world history, American history, civic and literacy, and economics, and personal finance. So that's 4 credits. So you will have social studies for 4 years as well. Then you do have to have your health and PE, or what we call healthful living, which is 1 credit. You typically take that as a freshman and get that out of the way. And then you have 10 elective credits you have to have. And 2 of those credits have to be under the career and tech area, arts, or second language. And we'll talk about that second language in a couple slides. All right, let's talk about high school courses taken in middle school. Some of you may be in Math 1 now, which is a high school course. You will earn a high school credit if you successfully complete the course. You have to pass it, and then you also have to take the EOC and, of course, our final exam, and that grade is 20% of the final grade. So for any course that has EOC, it is 20% of your grade. So you have to pass the class or do pretty well, and then that exam calculates into it. The course's final grades will appear on the high school transcript. You all get a transcript when you start high school that shows all your courses you've taken. When you apply to colleges, they'll want that transcript. So this class will be on that transcript, even though you took it in middle. Courses will count towards graduation requirements, so this does give you a credit towards your graduation requirements, but excuse me. Sorry, let me go back. Courses will count toward graduation requirements, but it does not count towards or included in the GPA. And we're going to talk about GPA, grade point average, in a few minutes. Let's talk about the STEM academies at the area high schools. Depending on where you're going, there are a couple programs at the different high schools. STEM is science, technology, engineering, and math. You can check out these on their websites. Apex has one, Apex Friendship, Athens Drive, Fuquay, Enloe, Middle Creek, and Southeast Raleigh. I'm not going to get too into these, but if you're interested and you're going to one of these high schools, I would say check out their website and to learn a little bit more information about it. Let's talk about high school promotion requirements. All right, promotion from 9th to 10th grade. So in order to move forward, you're going to have to pass your English, 2 of 3 core classes, math, science, social studies. So 2 of those you have to pass, and then 3 additional credits, which would be electives, totaling 6 credits. If you do not pass English or you don't meet some of these requirements, you will not move to 10th grade. Attendance. Just as attendance has been important throughout school, it continues to be very important in high school. It's important that you're on time to class, that you're present, You guys are on block schedule, which means hour-and-a-half long classes. So 2 absences in a block schedule could mean it's like missing 4 days of learning, because it's a longer chunk of time you're missing. Also, excessive absences may impact your eligibility to participate in athletics. You all are, as freshmen, are going to be able to try out for sports if you're interested. So we don't want attendance to mess that up. So bottom line is just be at school. If an emergency comes up, we understand, let someone know, let your teachers know, turn in a note. I would say if you have to miss and you can, let your teachers know ahead of time. Maybe get the work so you can work on it while you're gone. But we do understand sometimes emergencies come up. You're sick, you can't work. Just being conscious of that, though, and making sure you're not missing too many days. All right, driving, WFHS, driving while failing high school policy. So driving is incorporated with your academics. Students must pass 70% of their courses, 3 out of 4 on a block schedule, to be able to obtain or maintain their driver's license. So, in order to get it or keep it, you got to pass a majority of your classes. Also, driver's ed for you all turning 14 and a half is coming up. It's contracted through a private contractor. Jordan's Driving School is usually the one. Students have to be 14 and a half by the summer before they register. So if anybody's turning 14 and a half this summer, registration forms will be coming to our school, and we'll let you know. All right, understanding grade point average. Let's talk about this. Everybody starts to get a GPA after their first semester of 9th grade. And every course, every grade you get is worth quality points. As you can see, an A is if you're just in a standard class that's not honors or AP, it's 4 points. As you jump over and it's honors, it's 4.5. You see, you get a half a point more. Then if you're in an AP, you get 5, which is a whole point more. So just look at that chart and look at each grade and what a standard course, how many points you get versus honor versus AP. So it does benefit you to try and take honors at a point, hopefully some next year, and then AP at a point. It can increase your GPA. So again, honors is a half a credit more quality point, and AP is 1 additional quality point. Let's look at an example of an 11th grader who's taken some AP classes, honors classes, has done very well, and their quality points that they got were 32. What we do then is we add up those points, get 32, divide by 8. GPA is 4.0. So it's done pretty well. But we need to look at the cumulative, 9th and 10th grade. Okay. So 9th grade, the same student took honors English, regular math, everything else was regular. They didn't do so well. There's their quality points. They only got 10.5 quality points. 10th grade, I guess they buckled down a little bit more. They did not take any honors, but they did do better in their grades. Their quality points were 25. Okay, so it did improve. So we have to look at the cumulative of this. So this student's 9th grade, 10th, and 11th grade are here. The total quality points that they've gotten with all their classes they've taken is 67.5. Okay. So if we take that and divide it by the amount of classes they've taken, which is 24, their GPA is a 2.81, which is a C average. Not the greatest. So we have to remember this, guys. I mean, remember the 11th grade year was great. It was a 4.0. But it begins as a freshman. Your GPA begins, it is cumulative. You need to stay on it, do well, and know that it's going to be a sum of all your 4 years of high school. And I can tell you with a 2.8, it's going to be really hard to get into our universities in North Carolina. They're very competitive. And a lot of them, are looking at 3.0 or higher, and usually higher. So freshman year counts, guys. Looking beyond high school. Let's talk about if you're considering college in North Carolina. We have a lot of great universities, colleges. They're requiring 6 credits of language, which includes your English, 4 credits, and world language, 2 credits. And we're going to talk about that world language in a minute. But obviously, you're already required to get 4 credits of English. Math, they're requiring 4 credits, just as we are to graduate. Math 1, 2, and 3, and 1 beyond that. And they recommend your highest be in 12th grade. Then for science, it's 3 credits, a biological, a physical, and a lab science. And then social studies, they want 2 credits, United States history and 1 other. But remember, we want 4. We have to have 4 to graduate from high school. So, if you do follow all your credits and all your classes and do well, you're meeting requirements for our UNC system for college. Let's talk about the world language, or what I would say is foreign language. It is not required for graduation, but it is required for admission to the UNC system. So, and this could be even colleges outside North Carolina are requiring this. You would need to find out if you're interested in something outside of North Carolina. 2 credits minimum must be in the same language. So, you have to take Spanish 1 and 2 or French 1 and 2. You can't do French 1, Spanish 1. Okay, they want it in the same area, same language. Generally, foreign language is not recommended for 9th graders unless they've taken it in 8th grade, and then they need to continue it. It is recommended that your highest level be taken in 12th grade. So if you're thinking, I'm not going to be very strong in foreign language, I would recommend you doing 1 and 2, and then in your junior year maybe, and then senior year maybe a 3rd level, which would be an honors level. Or maybe you just take the 1 and 2. So we definitely, when I come in the classroom starting tomorrow, we will talk about foreign language, and I can answer questions and kind of look at the different scenarios of that. College planning, something else that you want to be aware of, what college admissions office pay close attention to. 1, your grade point average, difficulty of course load, having those honors and AP classes, and we're going to talk about that. SAT and ACT scores, those are your college entrance exams. You're going to have to take one of those, depending on where you're wanting to go to college to get in. Class rank, high school and community activities. Getting involved is not just about the academics, guys. We need to get connected to our school, get in some clubs, get some leadership. Maybe you're volunteering outside of school and different programs. Maybe you're in sports, but it's important you get involved. And then recommendations usually are made by your counselors at the high school, and essays that you write. Applications for college are going to require essays. So these are just some of the things they pay close attention to. 9th grade high school courses. Can you repeat a course for credit? You can repeat a course to improve your grade received. So let's say you don't do so on English 1, you want to redo it. You can do that. Both grades will appear on your transcript. So the colleges are going to see that you did repeat that course. Let's talk about the different high school courses. There's your academic, your honors, and your AP, or IB, which is International Baccalaureate. Your honors level classes. What does it take? You have to be independently motivated. You've got to be willing to want to sit down and work, study, read. It's not your parents motivating you. It's not your teachers motivating you. You are wanting to do it and do well at it. Reading is done at home. Class time is for enrichment, discussion, and instruction. You're not going in and reading paragraphs in class. You're going to be talking about it, analyzing it. Vocabulary in these classes is geared towards SAT, ACT prep. They're getting you ready for those college entrance exams. Typically, a student in honors is averaging high B's or A's on their tests before retest. So if you think about your test in middle school, how are you doing before retest? Are you getting A's and high B's? Also, usually students enjoy reading and multitasking that are in honors. Students complete homework regularly and successfully. If you want honors, you need to be doing your homework all the time, turning it in on time. If you're missing assignments and things like that, honors may not be a good fit. Students usually have good study skills and they perform well in their assessments in middle school classes. Honors is an accelerated advanced course requiring significantly more work. So we want to consider that. If you're recommended for honors, that's great. You want to make sure that you don't bite off too much, but if you can handle honors, that would be great. If you want to, take 2 honors, but your teachers are recommending you for honors and standard classes this year. Let's talk about AP classes. Why take them? Typically, AP is not taken until 11th grade year. Sometimes 10th graders can take them. Students whose transcripts show success in AP courses may receive higher consideration for admissions from colleges and universities. So, they may look at a student that has an AP course quicker than they would someone who doesn't. AP exams do have or AP classes, excuse me, do have exams, and you have to get a 3 or higher in order to maybe get college credit, thus enabling them to graduate from colleges or universities early. Now, not all universities are taking the AP credit. So, if you get into an AP course, you may want to do some research to find out if that college is going to accept your credit. But regardless, guys, it looks really good to have some AP classes on your resume and your applications for colleges. But it is typically not something you do till 11th, some 10th grade year, but it's a college level course, so it's very rigorous. Let's talk about your freshman classes, your options. For English, it's going to be English 1 or Honors English 1, and your teachers are going to recommend you for one or the other. For math, we have a couple sequences. Starting with, if you're going into Math 1, you may be recommended for Foundations of Math 1 and Math 1B. This means you'll be in math all year. One of those credits is going to be a math credit, and the other is elective. You will come out having Math 1 credit if you do well. Then you have Math 1, which is just a semester. You get 1 math credit. If you are recommended for Math 2, but maybe needing a little more support before you roll right into Math 2, you could be placed in Foundations of Math 2 and then Math 2 regular honors, and that would be a year long. You would receive 1 math credit and 1 elective credit for those. And you would come out having that Math 2 credit if you do well. The other option could be you're being recommended for Math Plus Honors, which is to give a little more support, review some Math 1, and then take Math 2 regular or honors. Again, this is a year long, and you would receive a math credit and elective credit. Some of you may just be recommended straight out to Math 2, which is a semester and a math credit. Some will be recommended for Honors Math 2, which is a semester and 1 math credit. And then if you're in Math 2 now, which I'm not sure if we have any in there, you would be recommended for Honors Math 3, and that is a semester-long math credit, 1 math credit. All right, now let's talk about science. Options here are going to be Earth Science, Honors or Science, or Honors Biology. The only high school not allowing 9th graders to take Honors Biology is Fuquay. So if you know you're going to Fuquay, this will not be an option for you. And in order to be in Honors Biology, you do need to be rolling into Math 2. So if you aren't at Fuquay and you want Honors Biology, you need to make sure you're in the right math for that. Math 1 students would not go into that course. Social Studies. Your options are going to be World History, Honors World History, and we do have AP World History here. That is a very rare situation. In my 16 years of doing this counseling and high school stuff, I may have had 1 student in my whole career who's been recommended. Usually the high schools reach out to us, to our teachers, and ask for recommendations. This will probably not be something that happens. Again, AP is college level, and you guys have not even had an honors class yet. So I don't foresee anybody really being recommended for that. But we'll discuss if that happens. Electives. Electives may come from all these different areas, depending on your interest. Arts. You got your visual arts, your band, your chorus, theater. You have your CTE or career and technical. That could be your Microsoft Word, PowerPoint. I'm not going to read all these classes, but computer education, which would be computer science. You even have some stuff under English, which is the core area. Study skills, creative writing, speech. You do have your healthful living you have to take, but after that, you could take some of these other classes, weight training, personal fitness, team sports. But again, you have to take the healthful living health and PE class first that ninth graders have to take. Junior ROTC, this is only offered at Broughton, Enloe, Garner, Sanderson, Cary, Millbrook, Knightdale, and Wake Forest, and Rollsville. So if you're not going to any of those, you wouldn't have this option, but this is a military-based program. And then math, the only elective under that would be like the Math Plus or the Foundations of Math. Under science, you might take astronomy. The world languages option, we already talked about that. Depending on the high school, they offer different things. Typically they offer Spanish and French. Some have Latin, some have German. And then social studies electives, geography, sociology, and psychology. So you guys are going to have a variety of electives to choose from. When you get your course list, it is only for freshmen. So you're only picking electives for freshmen. And it may seem like there's not as much on that sheet, but you guys will get more options as you move into 10th, 11th, and 12th grade. What is a block schedule? I've mentioned this a couple times. Block schedule is students take 4 classes each semester. So totaling 8 classes for the year. Each course is 90 minutes or an hour and a half. an entire year's worth of curriculum is compressed into one semester, which is 90 days. So you get your math in one semester, that's 90 days. So it's intense for sure. And that's why you don't need to miss. Grades start accumulating from day one, no time to catch up. So you got to be on it from the beginning of first day of high school. Here's an example. Could be the student gets math, world history, health and PE, and elective first semester, and then science, English 1, and 2 electives. High schools do try to balance their schedules so that you're not like all core one semester and all electives the next. They kind of have a balance of core and elective within. If you're going to, we have a couple high schools that have A day, B day. These would be Garner, Broughton, Enloe, Millbrook, and Southeast Raleigh. They are 90-minute classes, but you'll have A day maybe Monday, and you have math, world history, health, PE, and elective. Then B day, which would be Tuesday, maybe science, English 1 elective, 2 electives. So they switch off A day, B day. But you're only going to have these schedules if you're going to one of those high schools. Registering for 9th grade courses. This is the fun part. The counselor, which is me, will work with students to complete the registration worksheets in the classroom this week. We encourage students to register using teacher recommendations. However, parents may choose a higher or lower level course. When you get into Power Schools to put your classes in, you're going to see your recommendation, but you're also going to see the other courses, the regular and the honors. We do really strongly encourage you to follow teacher recommendation. And if you have a question about your recommendation, please reach out to the teacher and talk to them, or have your parents do that. But we're really encouraging trying to follow that. All students will complete a worksheet for their assigned school and transfer school. So if you know I've got my assigned school, but I'm going to transfer to a different high school, we're going to do a worksheet for both schools so that we have that information if you do get that transfer. Students will use the worksheet for their assigned school to complete the online registration process. Students may not register online for transfer schools, but will turn in a handwritten and signed worksheet by deadline. So again, if you know you're transferring, let's say you're slated to go to Holly Springs, but you want to go to Fuquay, and you're putting in a transfer, I will have you do a registration worksheet for both high schools, and I would take the one that you're transferring to with it signed by your parents and have that. So when you get your transfer, I can send that information to them, to the high school, of what classes you chose. Online registration is not available for early college schools, so the handwritten form must be submitted. So if you're going to early college, you know you got in, then I'd have you do this registration and turn it into me, and I can turn it into them, except for Vernon Malone. All right, let's talk about this registration worksheet, and I'm going to show you a picture of it. All students are selecting 8 primary courses and 3 alternate courses for a total of 11. So when you go into Power Schools, your primary are what you have to take, which is your core classes, your health and PE you have to take, and then 3 electives. And you want to choose electives that you want to have, because if you don't, you could get placed in something you don't want. So be really intentional about choosing electives you want to take. Then at the bottom, you see there's 3 alternates. Some schools require a 4th alternate. Those will be, if I don't get my 3 electives up top in primary, what else do I want to take? And here's the example of a sheet that when we're going to go over this in class, so you don't have to remember how to do this, but I'm going to have each person do this. So you're putting in your core, your health and PE, then you're adding in your additional courses and your alternate courses. Again, the additional are the ones I really want. Those are the ones I want to get first. The alternate are like, I want these if I can't get the additional. Okay. And this is what we're going to work on in the classrooms this week. There you go, primary, alternate. Registering Power Schools. You guys are going to go through Power Schools to put your classes in. I'm going to go over this with you during the class tomorrow. Students should not register until after the counselor work sessions in classes. So after I come into your class, I then can allow you to, or would like you to go in and do your Power Schools. I will be in the classroom starting March 7th, or excuse me, 8th through the 10th. I had put the date wrong there. But so I'll be in the classroom. That does end our presentation. So if you guys have any questions from this information today, please hold your questions, write them down, and then bring them to class, to your social studies class, depending on who you have. I'll see you this week sometime, and we can address those. But we'll be working on that 9th grade worksheet. We also are going to do an interactive 4-year plan in the classroom that your teachers are going to assign to you in Google Classroom, and we're going to pull that up. So make sure you have your computers ready to go. But I appreciate your time, guys. I look forward to working with you on this process. It's a fun time, and I hope you guys have a good day.